Good morning. So we had a surprise to me at least, freeze. The thermometer, or I guess my weather app, says that it's 32 out right now. It doesn't really feel like it, so I'm not as nervous as I was just laying in my bed inside looking at the weather app. But I still need to check on the greenhouse because it's a pretty common misconception that greenhouses hold heat because they don't. See? So I have things in here like tomatoes, and my peppers are closed up in here. It's probably a little bit warmer in there. I'm gonna likely leave that shut, but these guys, I need to put some water over them so they can hopefully not get any freeze damage. So this is a trick that I learned from Jess over at Roots and Refuge. She said that if your plants experience a really light frost or freeze and they're not frost tolerant, that you can sometimes save them if you catch it before the sun hits them in the morning and you give them a good watering over their leaves. The theory is that it can help the plant almost insulate against the change of temperature, a drastic change of temperature, and have the cells warm up more slowly, so they're a lot less likely to burst, because that's really what happens when a plant freezes. They look okay while they're still frozen. It's when they start to thaw out, especially if they thaw out really quickly, that the cells burst, and then they're not like us, they can't heal from that. So time will tell to see if our entire tomato effort here was for nothing. I did get a frost advisory last night on my phone. I did see it in enough time to bring my plants inside. I did decide to ignore it because it didn't seem like, basically the low was 34. I shut the greenhouse 2 hours before the sun went down, so it collected a lot of warmth. I do know that the greenhouse is not really famous for holding heat well at all, but I like to test my limits. This is my first full year. I've had the greenhouse for a full year, but I haven't been growing in it for the full year. I really want to know what I am able to do. And now I know, it's very solidified in my mind, that I can't do this. I really don't want to let the air out of there, but I also, if it is too cold in there, want to be able to water over them. So I think I am going to water over them. See, they look okay for now, but the only thing that we can do now is wait. I've experienced it before where I have had plants in the ground that I've had to cover for a really late frost. It happened in 2020. Our estimated last frost date is April 14th or thereabout, and this was May 5th. May 5th, I'll never forget it, 2020, it was a hard freeze. It was under 32, it was 28. And I had peppers and tomatoes in the garden at that time, which is normal. So I covered them all quite well with things like overturned pots and buckets. I even had mason jars over some things, and then I put a blanket over that. And a lot of stuff was okay, it lived, but it didn't really thrive that whole year. That garden, the whole garden was kind of a flop. I will say too about the ground and having plants in the ground and then experiencing a freeze and covering them there. There's a lot there that's different from just closing up a greenhouse for the night. When the plants are in the ground, they're actually able to benefit from the residual heat that's taken in by the earth and kind of emanates from the earth at night. These plants are way up on the table or way up on a shelf. They're nowhere near the warmth of the earth that has collected throughout the day. They are in pots, but it's definitely different. And also when the cover over the plant is a lot closer to the plant, it's able to hold in heat. Here, this is a large space to heat, and it's kind of a little bit too airy to really retain any kind of valuable heat close enough to the plant for it to matter. Our strawberries are looking lovely though. And strawberries are frost tolerant, so these guys are a-okay, that's for sure. Hey baby girl. Hey baby girl. Wow. My fan club has arrived. Just trying to see Dinky. Hey, mister. Hi. You might not be able to hear it on camera, but Dinky here kind of has a raspy way of breathing right now. I've gone ahead and just assumed that he has bacterial pneumonia, whatever's been affecting my pigs, and I have started him on a protocol of penicillin. So he's so tiny, but he is growing. He's almost 5 pounds now, and he's getting around great. We're just trying to get rid of this chest rattle. He's only had one of 5 antibiotic shots, so but he's still feeling pretty good. There we go. Go play. I've said this in past videos, so some of you may know what that sound is in the background, but we live really, really close to a military installation, and those are machine guns in the background. I can't control when they do their training, and oftentimes they're training while I'm shooting videos, so it's just a normal sound around here, but we don't mind it. The tomatoes and other frost tender things have survived that very minor freeze from this morning. I'm really, really grateful for that, because I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that the temperature said 31, my heart, it just sank. You assume because you have this big old greenhouse that things are gonna be fine. People have these things to extend their seasons, yes, but they do absolutely freeze. So, lesson learned. I'm not gonna pull that on myself again. But if you ever do need to save your very, very lightly frozen or lightly frosted, frost tender plants, you can do so by spraying them with water. I don't wanna open this up, but you can see in there, our peppers look really good. That was a success. Hopefully we never have to deal with that again. Hi, Hanson. These are girls. As you can see, the piggies are feeling much, much better from their bout of what I'm assuming was pneumonia. Hopefully we're rounding out the last of the affected animals from the pneumonia that we've had go through our barn. But I'm super thrilled that these guys and little Dinky over there seem to be pulling through quite well. Hi, Rory. Our grass is really starting to come in green. I've significantly cut back on the amount of hay that I've been feeding. I really like to come out around this time of day and just watch the girls graze in the field. It's so peaceful to sit down and relax and watch the goats be goats. Okay. We're not gonna get stuck in a fence this year, are we, baby? Right?